What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Degens. I am your degenerate host, Josh, and I'm back after 2 weeks for another episode with you because I'm sick and tired of seeing all the fear-mongering in the market and on social media. Tonight, I've got a ton of things I want to go over, from political, Bitcoin news, and just different things I'm seeing that make me realize it is not all over. And I've got a lot of different things I want to go over around meme coins, and I apologize. This is the second time I'm firing this stream up, but I've wasted enough of your time. Let's hop right in and save your questions for later, because maybe I'll look at them then, I guess. I don't know. What are we doing? All right. Jumping right in. As you can see, Bitcoin did actually get a good recovery yesterday. Overnight, it had a good pop up, got back up to like 104K. We're back at that resistance level. And unfortunately, this morning around 8:30 a.m. Central Time, fell like a rock. Market open. No bueno. Not any good. And it's been trading sideways ever since. Everybody says, watch that 100K mark. We're going to 80. You're out of your mind. If we were going to go to 80K by now, or we would have already gone by now. That's what I'm saying. But the reason why the market is so weak right now is due to the government shutdown. But I have fantastic news. If you're unplugged from the internet, or maybe you've just been busy with the fam tonight, you might not have seen. The House actually did pass the bill required for the government shutdown to end. So now it does go on to another stage, like all things politically do. And that is actually going to happen tonight. So the final vote to reopen the government is supposed to happen tonight. There's been a lot of back and forth, whether it's food stamps, whether it's medical benefits, other things I'm going to talk about tonight or more that have been discussed. And, you know, a lot of it also has hinged on one very, very specific thing not being released, which is a little bit weird to me. I'm not here to really get into it, but it's probably going to be released here soon. So we have another reckoning to look out to look forward to, I guess. And that is the Epstein files. There's a reason why Trump's been blocking it for a long time. And we've already had proof that Trump has been talked about it in those files in the past or whatever. And then the files got released and they weren't the files. I don't know. It's all crazy, right? But that's about to be voted on, that those are going to be released. That was part of also what was blocking the government reopening. And earlier today, there's actually another article about how Epstein all the time was talking about Trump. And, you know, a lot of these emails have already came out in the past, but I don't know. It's just a little weird. So even if the government does reopen tonight, which would be great for markets, for flights, for all sorts of shit, it'd be fantastic if the government reopened. I do expect some further drama, just because that's probably what's going to happen. But there is positive that has been going on. Despite the government being shut down for the longest time in history, I think we're at like 45 days or something like that. Something stupid, right? They are still actually working on things, such as the Clarity Bill. And not only the Clarity Bill, though, because now we also have the SEC considering to establish a token taxonomy, according to the chair, Paul Atkins. So what he's basically saying is he believes that many crypto are not securities, and he wants to create a clear framework and clear path forward that proves that crypto is not a security, right? Ultimately, what it boils down to is, like, you know, you've got, for example, Monad right now that is going through a pre-sale on Coinbase. 3 years ago, everybody would have screamed, that's a security, that's a security. And, you know, a pre-sale, that probably is. But all these fair launches and decentralized tokens. And I mean, I think that a lot, especially since these token launching platforms have come into effect, the majority, probably 90% of tokens are not securities. Just about anybody that does a raise, though, is technically a security. That's why we have accredited investors and all that crap, right? Basically, right now, Coinbase is trying to squeak through them cracks, get their security launch out while they can. You know, I can't even imagine how much money Coinbase is getting from putting Monad as a pre-sale on their platform. It's absolutely insane. But this is extremely bullish, because this is that clarity that the at least US users have been looking for years and years. Think about when Gensler was in office. All he wanted to do was hammer down about how every single token is a security. And there is other positive things that have been seeping through the cracks. I know you guys have all probably heard about this by now, but $2,000 tariff stimulus checks, and it's bracketed off by income and stuff like that, so it's not going to be for everybody, but I do think it will actually have an impact on the market. Typically, a lot of people, when they get free money, they do things they've been thinking about for a long time. So if you get several $1,000s and maybe you've been wanting to buy a toolbox, maybe you've been wanting to invest in something because you never have the cash, maybe you've been wanting to go on a vacation or whatever, but the chances are you fall into one of those buckets, and a good chunk. So say like 20% of people that get $2,000 are going to invest in crypto. That is a substantial amount of money going into the market in spot. So that is a big deal. Think about the COVID boom. I had a chart and unfortunately I lost it, but I wanted to show the COVID boom and when stimulus checks hit and the impact they had. Now, that's definitely not a reason why I'm like bullish, but like it is a reason to be bullish on the upcoming time frame of crypto. It is a little bit weird though, because right now the Supreme Court is looking at blocking the tariffs, in which case the United States have to give all the tariff money back, and then the stimulus goes away. So like it's all a little weird, right? But there's other bullish signs for the market as a whole. We have gone through a week straight of outflows for Bitcoin ETF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 6. So a week straight of Bitcoin outflows. But today, finally, we had a resurgence, positive, across all of the issuers. So that's also very positive. That outflow streak was crazy. BlackRock offloaded billions of dollars of Bitcoin. It's crazy. These numbers aren't even entirely accurate. I saw other numbers like BlackRock offloaded like 1.2 or 1.3 billion dollars of Bitcoin in 5 days or something like that. And it's not BlackRock, it's the people that buy the ETFs through BlackRock. But yeah, and there is one more piece of FUD that I do want to bring up before I get into all the goodness that's going on. And this FUD is stupid, and actually it's undiscovered currently, but China supposedly, allegedly, is accusing the US government of stealing $13 billion in Bitcoin, 173,000 Bitcoin, 127,000 Bitcoin in a seizure. So it's a law enforcement seizure. And the thing is like China representatives have said it's not true, but then you're seeing reports of people dumping on it. This is FUD, guys. This is exactly FUD. That's point blank period what it is. It is FUD. Now, there is also the contention of US wants to be a crypto powerhouse, and now supposedly China does too, even though it's illegal to trade it and buy it. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't think this is anything. I think you should ignore this, and you should probably unfollow anybody that is trying to tell you that this is a major problem coming up. Now, like I said, there is a ton of good things going on. But what is keeping Bitcoin from surpassing that level to get into all the good? Because obviously there has to be something outside of government shutdowns that's keeping us from going up, right? If we see that there was $524 million of inflows yesterday, well, surely the price should have gone up, right? Well, unfortunately, some things do happen on chain. And ultimately, this article says 3 reasons why Bitcoin hasn't surpassed resistance. And it's because of old whales, privacy coins, and people moving into ETFs. So I can show you all of these things, but it doesn't really matter because it's the fact of the matter. Here you can see Owen Gundon, OG Bitcoin trader, has just transferred 700 Bitcoin to Kraken. This week, he has transferred a total of 1,800 Bitcoin to Kraken. He is not the only one. The Gemini twins, the Winklevoss twins, they also have transferred hundreds of millions of dollars to Gemini to be sold. There's other old miners that have been transferring to sell. And then, yes, there has been a crazy privacy coin pump. If you look, Zcash is up like 1,700%. Monero's finally moving. You've got stuff like Filecoin and Render that are moving. Like Dino coins is what a lot of people would call them. They're finally moving. Yes, that does suck attention away because you have retail that panics. They will sell for a loss so they can move into the fast mover. And we all know that's not the way to play the game. But we're trying to be that patient investor and we're getting frustrated, right? Like, what the hell's going on? Well, I've got a lot of reasons why what the hell going on is going to be, holy shit, when is all the goodness going to stop? Because things are about to look very, very good. Now, for example, I'm going to start with very high level corporate treasury, etc. You've got Strategy, who has been offering more preferred stocks. They've been releasing new stock products and everything like that. What is the purpose of these products? Solely that so they can sell their holdings so that they can buy more Bitcoin. And with their newest offering that's going to go live in Europe, the $15 billion investment bank TD Cowen says Strategy is going to be able to buy 6,720 more Bitcoin with its $719 million raise from the STRE that's going to go live in Europe. So that is a ton. That is the fourth one they've currently launched. They are working on a fifth. So Strategy alone is accumulating more Bitcoin than anybody in the United States combined is going to accumulate in the next year, probably. Like, that is insane. And that's not true, but that is insane. Like, when you're talking retail probably will not put $800 million in Bitcoin in the next 6 months. It probably will not happen. But institutions and likewise, very much so will. But Strategy's sole purpose, even though they are at the core, at the bones, they are a software company. They haven't been a successful software company in like a decade. So that's not going to change. They are at its core now a Bitcoin strategy company, Bitcoin treasury. That's all they do. They don't want to do acquisitions. They don't want to buy up other Bitcoin treasuries. They just want to buy Bitcoin. Pure, plain, simple. They pay cash. They buy Bitcoin. They issue stocks. They buy Bitcoin. They take out stupid loans. They buy Bitcoin. That's all they are doing. And it's going to continue. They've made a point that it is going to continue. They're not the only ones, though. Other people want to follow in the footsteps. We've talked about Metaplanet, but what about Matador Technologies? They just raised $100 million to buy Bitcoin. They plan to buy 1,000 Bitcoin this year alone. Then by 2027, they plan to 6x that. They want to hold 6,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2027. So these corporate holders are just going to continue to balloon up and explode. And they're going to soak up so much supply that's when it matters that you hold 0.1 Bitcoin. This run's not over. Those big players that are trying to fear us out, they're making their moves. And all of this shows exactly that. But what's weird is it's not just your big corporate players. It's also universities. Emory University increased their Bitcoin position 91% through ETFs. So they now hold $51.8 million in Bitcoin. This is a university, a college. This is a probably government subsidized, for the most part, college, right? That's what all of them are anymore anyways, right? But still a ton of money. And they're not the only college that is buying Bitcoin. Also, they're not the only government funded anything that's buying Bitcoin. What the hell? Where did it go? I had it. It was good. I didn't open it. Michigan State Pension Fund, though, is buying Bitcoin. I think they hold like $10 million or something like that in Bitcoin. That's a pension fund. Imagine if all 401ks are already green flagged to be able to invest in Bitcoin, but not pension funds or, et cetera. So it's like step by step. But also these basket funds, when they include Bitcoin, they're going to include a slice. It'll be like, 5% of the fund, 10% of the fund, maybe 2% of the fund. And then it's hundreds of millions of dollars that are just going in, right? It's not like, we're going to put in $50 million. No, it's like, we're going to include this as part of our basket and we're going to allocate 5% to it. 5% sounds small, but hey, the fund is $10 billion. So it's a ton, right? That's how it works. That's when you get into these hedge level funds and retirement funds, pension funds, 401ks. That is how it all works. And this is going to continue to spread. I know it's not being shown, but Michigan is not the only state that is also doing that. This is just current news. I'm not trying to bring up old shit. I'm trying to show current people that are making moves, not old stuff. But also, I thought this is good. I'm a person that I like to get paid and I put all of my money into crypto. And then I live on whatever cash I need or like I've got to pay the bills or whatever. And then like, yeah, if I want to buy something, I move it over to cash, I guess, if I have to. But if I don't have to, I love to not have to. Not because I'm avoiding taxes, but because like I don't want the exchange takes 0.05%, then the bank transfer takes another 0.05%. Like I'm losing a ton of money all the time. So Cash App is now allowing customers to pay over Bitcoin Rails starting tomorrow. I think that's good. Square just added it yesterday. Got Cash App adding it now. Those are both Jack Dorsey companies. So to be expected. But I also know other VPs of payment processors, and they're looking to get crypto involved too. I have people coming to me all the time asking, how can I accept crypto? In fact, for Clash, actually, I'll talk about that later, but it's everybody is looking for it. So yeah. And okay, now let's get into some metrics because it is a thing. We have seen a lot of whales selling off, especially in the last 2 months. We said, yes, we've got the, I see Mark Anthony's comment. Cash App is now open. You know what's funny is actually, I do have tipping open on my my X account, and it tips out into Cash App and Bitcoin, funny enough. That's been enabled for a long time. Nobody once ever has tipped me in Cash App though, but Cash App is hilarious. I lost my so this chart here is showing Bitcoin holders, their balance holdings, and whether they're buying or selling, right? So wallets, whales, they're holding 1,000 and 10,000 Bitcoin, and they're holding change. Are they buying or are they selling? You can see here in the last couple months, they have been selling indeed. Like I've been talking about. OG whales, the Winklevoss twins, OG miners, they have indeed been selling. It's the truth. It's the fact of a matter. In fact, you could argue that Bitcoin's price is only as stable as it is because of ETFs. OG whales have not really been helping. So yeah, but we are seeing a resurgence of whale buys. This is very positive. And with that, you can also see the price starting to turn too. Now, it's good to see these holders coming back in. And a lot of these holders are not just OG whales. They're just big ass entities like BlackRock that hold 10,000 Bitcoin in a wallet, and they're able to do it. Now, another thing too is stablecoin supply. Stablecoin ratio to Bitcoin price. This is a good bottom and reversal signal. You can see it quite often. When this goes up, this means that people are moving into stablecoins. When it goes down, that means that they're accumulating Bitcoin. So you can see that we are moving in this channel here. This is a bear market. Much different. This is a bear market. That's when everybody moves into stablecoins. But we're currently in a bull market. You can see very obviously we're uptrending. This is a bull market to the T, a bull market. But you can see right now, if the bull market is going to continue and we're going to continue to hold this range, stablecoin supply should start to go down, which means that this ratio should go up and Bitcoin's price should turn upwards, right? What this basically is saying there's a lot of fucking money on the sidelines. They're ready to buy Bitcoin and crypto. That's all you need to know, is that we're getting to a point where there's so much money on the sidelines and prices are so low that they're ready to put it in. And that's probably what's about to happen. This is what matters. So that is a sure tell sign that is repeatable through years. And I believe in it. I mean, I'm deploying my money right now. I don't know about you guys, but when I see Bitcoin at 100K and it's been over that for almost a year now, I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm buying hundreds of SWI. I'm buying a full ETH when I can or whatever. I'm DCAing. It doesn't matter. I'm buying all. I'm leaving some stable coins on the side, but it is buy mode for me right now. And then you get in net unrealized profit. So basically, this is looking at who's in a profit, who's in a loss. This is another bottom signal. So if you look at it, currently, what this is showing, the blue line goes down. A lot of people are in a loss. Now, it doesn't stay that way forever. People have to make money. People have to buy the dip, price has to go up. And you can see that we're currently at a local bottom zone where it would turn. Now, this zone here is quite a bit higher. Now, you could argue we could get down to this bottom here. We are almost at this bottom here. I can't really like draw or snap a straight line there, but yeah, it is at a a bottom level where we should see a reversal, where buys should start flowing in and percentage of holders in profit should start going up. It's how it works. It's people trade the market based off of signals and analysis and TA, right? I'm not a big read the tea leaves guy. You guys know that. There's 17 of you guys here watching on YouTube, even though I haven't streamed in 2 weeks. So all of you guys know that and thank you for showing up. I appreciate all of you guys caring about my opinion, what I have to say. But for that fact, you guys all know that I'm not a TA guy. But when you look at the metrics and you look at the analysis and you look at how things bottom and they reverse, I can put it all together. I can see through and see through the FUD and the fear. I'm not scared. I can see that a reversal is happening, and maybe a reversal is not happening this moment, but I can see that it's time to deploy. So this is where I'm buying, and because we're in a bull market. We're not, if we haven't seen the flash crash down to 80K or whatever now, you're not going to see it. All those people on Twitter that are calling for 80K Bitcoin, it's not happening. Not yet. Not saying it's never going to happen, but it's not happening yet. We are very much still so in a bull market. Now, here's another thing. Well, this just shows you in a different way, actually. 5 million Bitcoin currently held at a loss. So this works a little bit opposite. This works inverse of how it was of the last one here. So here you've got when holders are in a loss, it goes down, right? So like this is supply, percentage of supply and profit. So it goes down. This is number of Bitcoin at a loss. So this number goes up. So blue line goes up again, shows you we're at that reversal sign. It's basically the same. It's just flipped. That's all it is. Slow this down, pause it if you got to, rewind it if you have to. This chart is just flipped. It shows the same fucking thing. I don't even need to show you. But what is important is that we are seeing demand return for Bitcoin spot buys. This is important because we don't need to see the leverage buys. We don't need to see that grow. What we want to see is spot buys coming back into the market. They've been gone for over a month, but they're finally rolling back in. And that is another very positive reversal signal. Now, here's another thing. Everybody says, oh, death cross, it's the worst thing in the world. We're about to see a death cross, or a death cross just happened. We're going to zero. Guys, death crosses are a lagging indicator, and we're about to experience another. In fact, the fourth one of this cycle. So if you want to look back to the past occurrences of a death cross in this cycle, every single one has caused a major pump. So I'm not saying history has to rhyme, but it does tend to repeat. It's very, I mean, everything is lining up. We've got the government shutdown ending. We have a ton of holders at a loss right now. Treasury companies are buying. ETF flows are coming back in. Payment processing is coming in for Bitcoin. Like, there's so much going on that it's definitely not over. Not only that, you've got major banks that are integrating crypto trading. SoftBank has integrated crypto trading. Charter is talking about by 2026, their users will be able to buy and sell crypto. It's just becoming so widespread. It's so far from over. It's not even funny. And I think personally that the 4-year cycle is dead. I think that we are going to see an elongated cycle. I do think that it will run into 2026. I've been saying for a while that I thought that the later half of Q4 was where we'd see our run. So, you know, I think personally, I truly do believe that all of this is lining up to be one of the most insane, mind-blowing rallies we have ever seen. Not like 2021, but it will be insane because there's just too much money in crypto now. Now, this just goes to show the proof of the matter, why these corporate companies are going to continue to get involved in crypto and why they're not going to exit. Here's Upexi, a random company that decided they were going to be a Solana treasury company. They bought a ton of Solana, and they are finally, for the first time in like a year and a half, a profitable company, not because they bought a ton of Solana, but because they actually bought a ton of Solana and they staked it. So the proceeds from the staking the Solana made them a profitable company. And they're like, holy shit, this works. We were a failure. Now we're winning. Stock price goes up. Holders are happy. They're happy. They're making money. what do they want to do now? They want to double down. They want to buy more. And that's why we're seeing exactly that. Now you have a Zcash Treasury company launching a Zcash. They're already up 1,300%. Talk about the worst freaking time to launch the Treasury company. You should have launched it 6 months ago and you'd be a genius. But no, you've got a Zcash Treasury company going to be publicly traded, backed by the Winklevoss-Chins. They are selling Bitcoin so they can buy whatever the hell the ticker is of this company, or maybe just Zcash for all I know. But it's kind of funny how that works. Leap Therapeutics. So you've got a therapeutic brand that is going to be a privacy coin treasury. Make it make sense. We're just seeing the beginning, guys. This is trying to bore you so that you don't tune into this, so that you sell your bags, so that you forget about buying, so that you get bored of it. And then when everybody catches on, that's when everything changes. I do have some other things I want to talk about because it's a little bit interesting. You got Anthony Scaramucci saying that Ton offers an indirect bet on Telegram's ecosystem, and it could hit a $10 value as a contrarian play challenging Visa and PayPal. I've met Anthony Scaramucci, and he's a bullshitter. But I do think that Ton does have a solid potential. I don't know. I could see it hitting $10 at some point. They did finally make the wallet available for US users on your phone. So like I can do that now. There's a bunch of other things that they made available, but I feel like the Ton ecosystem is overrun by bots. But I've got a good reason as to why the mooch might be onto something here. Because here we've got, oh, come on. Hold on, give me a second. This is a good one. I closed it. Guys, I've got like 30 links open. Give me a break. Here we go. So you got Visa launching their pilot for direct USDC payouts to power instant global payments. At 9:45, this is hot off the press. If you are here and you're a degenerate, you're going to find out first. So you should celebrate or something. Thank you, RP, for the wonderful juice. It's pretty good. Good stuff. I like this. I'm going to cherish this one. So thank you. I like a good peppery agave forward spirit. So to RP in the chat, everybody throw him some love. He sent this to me. Appreciate that. But the reason for that is because at 9:45 EST tonight, Trump is now expected to sign the order ending the government shutdown. So as of current news that just broke, the government shutdown should be ended tonight at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is about an hour and 40 minutes from now. Very bullish indeed, because markets have been suffering. Not traditional markets, but crypto is just so indecisive. That's how it works. It's, whatever. But like I was saying, you've got the mooch is saying that Ton is a good bet against Visa. And it makes sense because, damn it, I got to fast now or forward now. But Visa is launching a pilot for direct USDC payouts. They want to, ease all that. And I can say that was my point of saying that is all available on my phone now. I can go to any Telegram user and I can send them however much money I put in that wallet. I can do that completely instant, completely fee-free, and through a messaging app. In China, you've got WeChat, where everybody uses it. In Europe and Mexico, you got WhatsApp. There's no reason why Telegram can't be another one. And they're going to have, and I mean, Telegram already is, but like typically when I talk to people, they're not like, oh, message me on Telegram. When I go to Mexico and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you have to message me on WhatsApp. When I go to Asia, they're like, we only use WeChat. So it's not like that in America. But if Telegram becomes one of those powerhouses too, it very well could become a payment rail powerhouse that nobody saw coming because it is just a messaging app. So I could see how it is a very good bet against Visa. Other than that, JPMorgan, they're rolling out, they've had their private blockchain for years, for many, many years. Even while Jamie Dimon was trashing Bitcoin and crypto and everything like that, they've had their private blockchain. But now they are rolling out their JPM coin deposit token for instant payments and settlements for institutions. This is not for us normies and poor people. If you've got under 10K in your bank account, you're not applicable. You probably need like 500K. But yeah, it just shows you the movement is moving forward. It's not dead. Crypto's not dead. This is trying to bore you out. That's all that's happening. They want you to be sick of this. But you know what has done really well? I'm not going to lie. Look at Clash, man. Absolutely killing it. If I could tell you everything going on with Clash, you'd be pretty bullish. I know there's a lot of people in here that hold a healthy amount of Clash. And I hope you haven't been feared out. The strength of this chart. I know you've got like very obvious moves here, but like this is beautiful. There are still zero influencers, major KOLs that are talking about Clash. There's a couple outlets that write articles that are talking about it. But that's really about it. It's all George. I've been helping out a lot in the background lately. That's actually why you haven't seen a lot of me, because my days have been longer. I've been helping more with Clash. And there's a lot of bullish stuff coming out. There's one specific thing that I actually told you guys I thought would be a good idea that's currently in the works. So there's a lot of bullish things coming for Clash. There's currently 180 people that are going to Vegas in like 3 weeks in the middle of a government shutdown, in the middle of a market turn down, to have a party because of Clash. So if that doesn't tell you how strong the community is, it's not centered around a major crypto conference. It's not at Miami Art Basel or anything like that. It's just in Vegas randomly for Clash. And there's over 180 people that are going to show up. If that doesn't show you how strong Clash is, if this chart doesn't show you how strong Clash is, if my comments back here at 300K market cap didn't tell you how strong Clash was going to be, I guess you're just not in crypto to make money. I don't really know what to tell you. I bought more Clash on this dip when it got around 38K, 37K. I bought more. Another one I've been buying more of is Straydog. The stream is still sponsored by Straydog, so I appreciate them for sponsoring the stream. And yeah, but I am still I'm still a very firm holder of Straydog. I've not sold a single token. In fact, I also have bought more. I also was part of the people that bought $5,000 of Straydog and burned it. I think that what's happening here, this is the greater meme coin market. This is the greater meme coin market. Clash is defying the greater meme coin market. You have Popcat, for example, today, which I've talked about extensively, when it's a bottom signal or whatever. They even fell 12% today. The overall meme coin market is suffering. It is doing terrible. That's when we find opportunity. Like I've always said, that's what I've always said. We find opportunity. Straydog right here is an opportunity. You could argue. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. I always have the hiccups when I stream because I never talk this much. So then I start talking a bunch and I can't freaking keep my breath. You guys got to realize, if any of you guys go to Vegas, I don't talk this much. Prepare to be disappointed. I don't talk this much. But Straydog arguably already found its bottom. Market's gotten weaker. It already had its bounce. This is a bottom zone, period, for Straydog. If it starts getting back up at 800K, it's still a good buy, but like you missed the bottom. So if you're looking for a good pickup there, I'm not going to tell you that any of these newly launched projects are a good buy. Neon, that stupid in real life streamer, he launched a token today, and it's the most absurd chart you've ever seen in your life. Like, what is this chart? Nobody's trading this except for bots. It's 80% bundled. Somehow it's look, it hasn't even had a transaction in the last 5 minutes, or according to this. It's wash trading. Like, this guy with millions and millions of followers can't get people to buy his token. that the meme coin market's not doing well right now. I'm not going to come in here and I'm gonna be like, oh guys, this project just launched. Go buy this one. It's not the time for that shit. You know what the time is? It's the time to go to CoinMarketCap and do the boring thing that you don't want to do and look and see what's down. That's what it's time to do, because you want to buy the bottoms. You don't want to, if you want to risk it on one of these shitty ass deck screener plays that just launched yesterday, be my guest, but please don't do it with more like $20, because you're probably going to lose it all. And if you make thousands and you get to say, ha, Josh, you were wrong, good. I'm happy. Like I want to be wrong there, but like, I'm not going to be the guy that says this is the next opportunity. I'm not going to lead you down the slaughterhouse. I'm going to tell you what we do is we look towards blue chips that have respectable charts, that make solid moves, and that are down heavy. And that's what we do. I could argue even that PopCat would be one of those. I could definitely argue that Ticker Bitcoin is one of those. Turbo could even be one of those. So many of these could be one of those. I didn't set up the stream to do this. We've already been live for 36 minutes, but I'm saying there is opportunity, and I want you to not look at something brand new. But what I will do is I will spend a good amount of time hanging out with you guys, going over Q&A. It's been a while. So throw in your questions. Give me your best shot. Let's see what we got. I'm going to go through the chat, catch up while you guys decide what kind of nonsense you want to throw my way. I'll pull up anything. I don't care. Sorry, I had to restart the stream. That was weird. It gave me the option to stream from mobile and desktop at the same time, but apparently only pushed through desktop. So I don't know. Or mobile. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. It's bullshit. Skipping Stones, what's going on, man? Just so you know, Skipping Stones, I am also the one in charge of all the Vegas invites. I apologize. I wasn't trying to be a dick earlier, but I get given rules and I've got to adhere to the rules. But I talked to George and I told him, hey, these T3 holders that are getting Vegas invites anyways, shouldn't they like be allowed to join the Zoom? And he's like, yeah, that makes sense. So we did that. So now you are on the Zoom list. I know you got the email, but I wanted to address that. So thank you for bringing that up. You're the first T3 holder that requested a Zoom invite. So I'm happy we could get that all squared away, but I apologize. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I even messaged him, or look, I will show you my message. Stop knowing me, because it's funny. Here we go. I'm going to screenshot this. Here we go. So we talked about it a bunch. And then this is where the conversation ended up. If Skipping Stones is even here, he might not even be here, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, he already responded. So this is how it went. Like towards the end of it, he sent it to me, a screenshot of the question. He goes, is he trying to gift it or use it for himself? Say, yeah, they were the first T3 to ask for Zoom. When I looked at RSVP, it didn't mention T3 for Zoom. And I said, for himself. To be honest, he's been around forever. I feel kind of bad. And on YouTube for many years. He goes, just give it to him because T3 get Vegas. It makes sense. And it's how it should be. So thank you for helping with that. And yeah, cool. I'm going to keep going through chat here. Adam Bates, what's going on, my man? Steve Harding, what's going on? Ryoshi, Straydog to the moon. It's definitely going to moon from here. That's a fact. Camera Wall, we are here and we're holding on, and it is glorious, my friend. I live off of Cass's income. Cass app is open. We're gonna make that the fact. Can you guys? You can tip Cass. You can tip her anytime you like. Just a tip, though. Just a tip. I'm not gonna read that. Hey, that's pretty cool. Camera Wall says I round every Cash App transaction up to the nearest dollar and buy Bitcoin with it. That is a cool feature. I agree. Let's see. Steve Harding says just kicked off buying again. It's the time to buy. And it's not Camera Wall if he's not talking about the name of his first band. So Let's see. And no, wait, here we go. Death Cross is a band too. What's going on, Clifton? Happy to see you. Anything else? Ton. Steve Harding's laughing about ton. I agree. I get it. Short ton from the very top. It was an obvious signal at the Dubai token 2049 when Paval came out and had that huge announcement. Ton's been down ever since. Like that huge announcement was the top signal. I was standing at the back of this massive crowd. There was no way you were getting through it. I've been to hundreds of festivals and I fought my way to the front of the crowd, to the rail. Hundreds, like tens, 20s of times for sure. Over 80 times I have fought my way to the front, to the rail. And for Paval, for the Telegram announcement, there was no chance in hell. And I was like, this is a top signal. I remember saying it to Scott. I was like, ton is going down from here. It's definitely happened. Let's see. What else we got? We're talking about RP and his booze. Steve Harding thinks that $10 is a fair price. Let's see. For any of you moving out of California or New York, due to how they run, give Massachusetts a good one. I fell for that. It's time for RWA-Fi. I'm down with RWA. I like RWA. It's just not RWA time right now. You bought Near, Polygon, and Arbitrum during this dip, and you're happy with every buy. Hey, as long as you're happy with them. As long as you're happy with them, that's good. Let's check out the market. I'm closing down a bunch of tabs, and we'll see how the market is reacting to the shutdown ending news. Oh yeah, look at that. It's exactly what we expected to happen. Let's zoom down here. Let's go to the 5-minute. Boom. Yeah, buddy. Look at that big old green volume candle there. Let's zoom this out here. It's our biggest green volume candle. In a couple days, 2 days. Looks like it's selling off a little bit, but that's okay. People got to take profit. Is privacy season over? I don't think so, actually, because the reason why privacy season's going on so much is because of Europe and other countries too, but largely Europe. They're just trying to crush privacy. They want no anonymity, period. In fact, they want it so that you can't even hold over $20,000 of cumulative stablecoins. So like if you hold $5,000 of 4 different stablecoins, you have capped the max. So like they're worried about their shitty ass economy crumbling. I don't think privacy season's over. I think privacy season's just getting started, because what's happening is people are getting exposed and they're learning what privacy really means. So that's why I think privacy is getting stronger, because people are sick and tired of being monitored. I know I'm fucking tired of it. I go to the store and I try to buy something. They shut down my account. That shit pisses me off. Let me buy what I want to buy. Like, don't call me and ask me, what are you trying to buy? Like, shut the fuck up and let me spend my money. I'll tell you it's not a scam. I'll tell you it's me. But like, don't ask me questions. Who the hell do you think you are? And you've got governments that are trying to do the same shit. More and more people are thinking that privacy is real and that they care about it and they cherish it and they want it. You've got more people deactivating their Facebook and Instagram than ever. So I think privacy is just getting started. Noob says he thinks the privacy narrative will stick for this cycle. RWA should come out on top. I think ultimately RWA will be the biggest sector of crypto in history. I don't think that any sector, when RWA truly blooms, I don't think any sector will be bigger than RWA. I don't even think DeFi will be bigger than RWA, because the amount of things that they want to tokenize. You had BlackRock just yesterday at a Europe financial conference telling the leadership of Europe, right, like their parliament and shit like that they should tokenize everything. The goal is to tokenize everything. The NASDAQ is talking about tokenizing the exchange so that they can be 24/7 trading. Like, everything will be tokenized. The RWA market is going to be bigger than anything. It's just finding those winners and picking them. That's the hard part, because really it's all going to come down to legality and what certifications they have, connections they have, like, you know, what licenses. There's so many different facets to it. So it's going to be the hardest one to pick, but I guarantee you it will be the biggest one in all of crypto. Everything will be tokenized. Cars will be tokenized. And in fact, Ferrari wants to tokenize their car, the one for the Le Mans. They want to tokenize that, or I don't even know if I said that right, but the one they do on the island, Le Mans or whatever the fuck. They want to tokenize that car. They're expecting it to go for hundreds of thousands of dollars for the NFT, and you don't even get the car. Like, so come on, tokenization is going to be bigger than everything. TVL and Ondo just hit $1.85 billion today, and that's nothing. Just getting started. Yeah, right. I just bought a new truck recently. I want my truck title to be an NFT. How can I do that? But guys, questions aren't rolling in. I've got a garage to organize. Otherwise, that one's going to yell at me. So since there's no questions coming in, I am going to go ahead and dial things down. But I will tell you, I will be streaming tomorrow and I will be streaming Friday. We're going to get back on schedule. We're going to get back on top of things. We're going to get in tune with this market. I mean, I've been in tune with the market. I haven't left. I haven't gone anywhere. I know damn well what's going on. But we're going to get back to being live as much as we possibly can. I appreciate we've hit a peak of like 28 live tonight. I don't even know why. I barely tweeted about this. In fact, I had to restart stream once. So I appreciate all of you guys coming by. I wasn't around for a couple weeks. So thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow with another live video. Peace.